Today is the day. As we've been waiting for weeks, Bitcoin has now made that move above the 21-day moving average decisively, guys. Will now we get a repeat that we've only seen happen time and time again in the year 2020. And just as importantly, Bitcoin has actually gotten a very strong bounce on this 2-month support line. What is next? Welcome back, everyone. Yes, it's me returning Bobby Blastoff, and you guys know when Bobby's in the club, Bitcoin's not the only thing blasting off. Am I right, brothers? Let me get some. Wow, we've got a lot to be delving into these charts, guys, as Bitcoin has finally come down to two specific decisive moments that we've been waiting for, actually, for a fair amount of time at this point. For about 2 months for this continuation on one pattern, and just for, basically we've been following another pattern all year, and we're waiting to see if we basically confirm the last phase of this pattern that has repeated so far up until this point multiple times throughout this year. So we're going to be delving into these charts and actually take a look at what is the most probable scenario here, and in fact, what should we expect? And as always, guys, make sure to turn this button blue to make your wildest dreams come true, guys, and as well, make sure to leave your comment below to enter for a ledger. Equivalent BTC or access to T4, and tomorrow we will be decisively picking a winner for that. And as always, guys, huge bonuses going on. The Bybit bonus actually is done, but the Femex bonus, I believe, is up to $600 using our link below. If you're interested in trading tons of altcoins, remember, guys, experienced traders only. Wow, Bobby's here and ready for some boinkage, guys. Absolutely massive. Let's take a look on these Bitcoin charts. Bitcoin actually, within the last 3 weeks, has still been fluctuating between this very interesting symmetrical triangle that I think has a lot more validity now, as we've recently gotten a bounce just as of yesterday here at this very key level, about 17.7, right? 17.6, 17.7, very important level, guys. A ton of things are going on this chart, and let's actually start off here. So as we talked about yesterday, if Bitcoin is going to maintain this structure, it needed to hold where it was yesterday, guys. That was the title of our video yesterday, okay? It needed to hold there, and in fact, so far it has. However, this is a potential fake out scenario that we've been warning about for about a week now, and we're going to be delving into more details about that as well. But just looking on this chart, this was very easy to see that this was a very critical moment that we said yesterday, if we were going to break down here, things were going to get pretty dirty. And if they don't, then again, this will remain within this pattern. But this was a decisive moment, and so far we are seeing some upside. Remember, weekend trading is always kind of iffy, but so far we're seeing that bounce here, guys. Now, this is something we've been talking about for quite a long time now at this point, and that is this. Bitcoin coming back above this 21-day moving average after getting multiple touches for support there, and then ultimately falling through, which we ultimately did fall through that second time back on December 8th, roughly 4 days ago. And what we've been anticipating is a revisit above that 21-day as a fake out scenario, as it has happened 3 other times this year. Now, for this not to be a fake out scenario, in my opinion, I believe we would have to break about $19,000 even as of today. Remember, this changes every single day, but as of today, breaking 19,000 is a very good indication that, in fact, we're going to get a move to the upside in the short term. However, if we don't, just simply being above this 21-day moving average, in my opinion, means very little. I personally think that this is not bullish or bearish at all, just being above the 21-day. I think it's completely irrelevant, honestly. And if we just take a zoom back, you can see we did this exact same thing back on September 1st and September 2nd. We got 2 rejections off of this, or 2 touches of support here, ultimately getting rejected the second time, coming back up to try to, break above it, failing, and that initiated a big move to the downside. Very similar so far to the pattern that we've seen shaping up, okay? 1 touch here, 2 touch here, okay, and then break. Now this is our retest, very similar to this green box we have highlighted here. Okay, again, not the first time it's happened. First retouch, second bounce here underneath it, and then we come back above. It, and we just lose momentum. We went down, and then this is the anomaly, so we're going to discount this, but this was already happening before that happened anyway. And then as well, same thing here. We got multiple touches, multiple bounces, but we kept trying to get above it. We just failed to hold it, and ultimately we also did get that bearish cross. So that is exactly what we're eyeing up here. Bitcoin, though, did hold all of the structure, all of the different patterns we have drawn on this chart. It did hold over the last 24 hours, which is absolutely critical. And specifically, I think this is the best illustration of it, because this goes back 2 months at this point to the very beginning of October. And remember, this is the fourth revisit, the fourth long-term revisit. This is 1, 2, 3, and now 4. So this is absolutely critical to hold if we're going to be maintaining bullish momentum here in the short term. Now, again, like I just said, I don't think this is anything special just yet. Just because we're back above the 21-day, just because we bounce at the bottom of this consolidation pattern here, nothing super significant. I personally think, though, if we can break above 19,000, then it'll be extremely interesting in the short term, and we actually look to maybe set more of a scenario like we did back here. And also the best representation of it would be back actually in the summer, back in May, where we had that, we fell through, but we got a very strong bounce back up, and then another one here, but then ultimately we continue that pattern of just failing at the 21-day moving average. So I guess now, in the most bullish scenario, this is something we're going to be eyeing up just as a repetition in the very, 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 very short term. In the very, very short term. But that's what we're watching here right now. This is what we've been waiting. We've been talking about a revisit back above the 21-day moving average for about 2 weeks now. So it's very nice to see it playing out. But now this is a key moment to see if we get a daily close above this, to see if we actually get momentum, actually push up higher here to about 19,000, because then we could get a little excited in the short term. But again, it's way too early to tell in my opinion. Also, extremely, extremely, extremely important here is this level, which we failed to get above for, it looks like 12 or so hours overnight. But we just recently were able to get above it, and that's when we see this little pump actually start here. We see this very nice green candle start exactly at this level. The $18,600 level has been critical now, going back almost an entire month at this point. It was critical for support. It was critical for resistance. You can see it holding for support here as well. Now it's more so turned to resistance ever since the last about 3 days specifically. It's been very, very strong resistance. But yeah, for an upside move to continue, this is the main level we're looking at, the $18,600 level. And remember, this was critical support here as we were forming this pattern. And when we broke it here, you can see that's when we got the pretty significant dump to about 17.6. Same thing here, one bounce here. And then we came back down for another one, and we failed at 18.6, and that's what initially, again, brought us down to about 16,000. So 18,600 is probably the most significant price area right now, especially in these short time frames, but really going back almost an entire month at this point. So, and that's basically exactly where we're at right now. We're at, as I'm recording, it's 18,692, but how we react either to the downside or the upside right at this exact level of about 18,560 to 18,600, I think is going to be the deciding factor of what happens as we play out through December, as we end the year 2020. I think 18.6 is going to be just kind of like the pivot point of where these moves are going to be decided. Okay, massive, massive, massive. It's finally nice to see some price action shaping up, guys. Also, keep in mind, we have roughly 24 hours until we get a weekly close. Be extremely interesting to see how this candle is, as yesterday, this was extremely bearish engulfing so far. Remember, yesterday we made a video, there was about 52 roughly hours left until the weekly close. Now, there's roughly a little over 24 hours for this weekly close, and you can see we've gotten a decent bounce so far. So again, this is still a live scenario where we could continue and get a very nice bounce by the end of this month. So we're still watching that. The reason this is interesting is because this price movement that's happening now and over the next few days is going to determine, in my opinion, how we actually end December of 2020. So it's really important to see how Bitcoin pivots at the 21-day, how it pivots at the 18.6 or $18,600 level, if we find support there, because as we watch this pattern play out, it's going to be very telling how this Bitcoin price swings. We're talking about $5,000 to $10,000 price swings within the next few weeks, depending on how Bitcoin reacts at these levels. Big milkers, absolutely huge, guys. So as well, make sure to leave your comment below and subscribe to enter for the Sledgisodes tomorrow. We'll be doing that. And as well, if you guys are interested in trading, Bybit's bonuses are currently not active anymore. However, there's up to an additional $600 bonus there on Femix. I'll have to change that. It says 120 there, but it's actually up to $600 right now. Femix has a lot of altcoin pairs, which if you guys are interested in trading. But as always, guys, trading inherently risky, whether it's leverage or not. Only trade with a small portion of your portfolio, in my opinion, okay? Do what you want, but I personally think it's smart to be very, very, very cautious and very careful And yeah, if you're interested, make sure to check it out. Also help support the channel, and I'll see you in the next webisode.